You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life.
You see, I like to ask people, I'm a straight shooter. And I like to ask people the question, what is it really about? Like when you cut through the fluff about what you want and what you're trying to accomplish, like at the core of it, what is it really about? Is it about something superficial, materialistic? Is it about a financial number? Well, what happens when you get it? Like at the core of it, what is it really about?
Start attending workshops, seminars, listening to tapes on a daily basis to begin to recondition your mind, to retrain your thinking. Faith comes by what? Hearing and hearing and hearing.
Now, here's a qualifying phrase, and we'll have several of these qualifying phrases throughout the seminar. Here's the first one. You may not be able to do all you find out. I understand that. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain. Not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. So that's number one, find out how things work. Now here's the best human virtue for finding out, curiosity. Make a note of that, curiosity, be curious. You might add a word to it that'll help, childish curiosity.
And I work with a lot of athletes, I do a lot of professional work, I'm with the Denver Broncos this Friday, and I ask guys all the time, like, man, what do you really want out of life? Some guys say, man, I want to be rich. I say, cool. I said, the true measure of being rich is how much would you be worth if you lost the money? Some people say, man, I want a house, I want a car. I say, cool. I'm not here to judge. But I really want you to search on what do you really want out of this thing called life. And my journey started for me when I was 7 years old, and I thought what I wanted was the NFL. I really felt with every fiber of my being, man, if I could just make it to the NFL. I grew up on the east side of Atlanta in Kirkwood, and now Kirkwood is a lot different than it is back when I grew up in Kirkwood. Lot different. They got a ping pong table at the park, right?
What will kids do if they want to know something bad enough? Bug you, that's the phrase. They can ask 1,000 questions. You think they're through? They got another 1,000. They'll drive you to the brink. It's a virtue. When you gotta know. Be like a child. In fact, Jesus, the master teacher, said, unless you can become like little children, you might as well forget it. You don't have a prayer. Excellent advice. You got to be like children. 4 ways, in my opinion, to be like a child. Number 1's curiosity, and number 2 is excitement. Get excited like a child over your ability to make yourself do anything for change. 3rd is faith. Have faith like a child. Adults are too skeptical. And 4th is trust. Trust is a childish virtue, but the rewards are incredible. So be like a child.
They had no ping pong table when I grew up. And I was coming up in this 2-bedroom home with 14 people. And I was sleeping on the floor. Me and my cousins, we made pallets every night, 3 sheets of cover. And I had this dream that, man, if I could just make it to the NFL, I could get my mother off of that double shift at Windows. Man, if I can make it to the NFL, me and my cousins won't have to miss meals some nights. If I could just make it to that NFL, man, everything would make sense. And every night, me and my cousins, we would be in the street playing ball, tackle football, getting after it in the street, bloody, scarred up. And one night we're in the street playing, tackling each other, busting each other up, and we knew every night when the street lights came on, we had about 10 minutes before we had to go in the house. And this night we getting after it, and the blue pickup truck comes down the street, I'll never forget it. And we back out of the way to let the car go by, and he pulls over to the curb, and out of it gets the first white guy we had ever saw in our neighborhood at the time. And immediately, every drug dealer on the corner, they take off running. And my uncle Bobo, doing 40 years in the federal penitentiary right now, looks at me and says, "Ink, don't talk to him, I got it."
Listen to things that can empower you, that can enable you to create a new reality for yourself, and a new life for yourself. You might appear to be strange around most people. You know, most people think you're strange if you're happy today. See, these people have not found their purpose in life. That's why they're grumpy. That's why they're miserable. That's why they're so negative. They're hurting and they want to hurt other people. So start practicing using programs for your mind. Seminars, books, workshops. Keep a journal. Record your thoughts, what's happening with you. Every day when you get up, have a journal near you.
God just so happened to be the nicest guy in the world. If that same guy that got out of that truck called me today and said, "Inky, I'm in California and I got a problem. I'm gonna find the first flight out to California and we're gonna handle that problem," he means that much to me. And he walks up in the middle of our game and he says, hey man, would y'all like to play organized football? I said, man, I would love that, man. The street getting rough. Where you been, brother? Like, man, I love the game, but it's street. He said, go in the house and get your guardian. I ran in the house. My uncle JJ had just married into the family. I said, hey, uncle, please come and speak to this gentleman. My uncle said, sure. My uncle walked outside. The guy extended his hand. He said, hey, man, my name is Trey Hirsch. He said, I don't even supposed to be over here. He said, I dropped the kid home 3 blocks up, just riding down to check out the neighborhood. He said, I run a league across town. I think if you bring the kids out, I think it'll be a great opportunity for them and it could really help them.
See, ladies and gentlemen, we get 3 to 4 thoughts a year that if we would act on those thoughts, they could change our life. What idea are you sitting on? Write your ideas down. And then, once you get that idea, take the leap. Take the leap. See, it's out here in the universe. If you don't take the plunge, I guarantee you, somebody else will. Take the plunge. Go into action. And ladies and gentlemen, you will be surprised at how things will come together. You'll be surprised. Now, you're going to have some difficult challenges. I can tell you that now. Be aware of that. Things are not going to work out exactly right. For a time, they will, sometimes. And that's when life is just playing a game with you. I want you to feel good and relax. But ladies and gentlemen, go into action with your dream. And don't avoid where the fights are. Get in the midst of the fight. Get knocked down so you can learn how to fight, so you can hold your position.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean.
See, most people don't get out in the arena of life because they don't want to fight. Most people don't get out there because they don't want to get knocked down. They don't want to be dropped to their knees. But see, you're going to be dropped whether you're on the field or whether or not you're sitting on the sidelines. You're going to be dropped. So at least get dropped for something. See, that's how most people are spectators in life. You don't want to be a spectator. You want to get out in the field where the action is, and you will be amazed. After the struggle, there will be a calm period, and things will begin to click for you.
Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. First, you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it because it's inevitable.